Hello guys, my name is Peter and welcome back to SWTOR Central. Today's video is about to be the Marauder guide about 6.0. So there has been a lot of changes happened in 6.0 or like in the PTS because currently I'm showing this guide in the public test server. So keep in mind everything or anything can change whenever they are decided to do it. So to start things off, by the way, in the Marauder will have the same new ability as, of course, the Juggernaut will have, which is the Rabbit Fuhrer one. The Rabbit Fuhrer consumes all ability charges for Rabbit Fuhrer and applies Rabbit Fuhrer stacks to you. Each stack increases your next direct target melee attack by 25% and consumes whenever you deal damage with these attacks. Recharges ability every 30 seconds. So currently you have 4 stacks of this Rabbit Fuhrer. And this is, I think this ability is much more useful on Marauder in a way. Because you will, at the very beginning, no matter if it's PvP or PvE, you're gonna go absolutely burst. And in this 4 stacks, what you can use is just getting 25% more damage for each ability that you are using. So at the very beginning, especially this one is really good for like opening for a boss fight especially, or if you just wanna burn someone on PvP. You can go ahead and use this one, and after that, once you get into 2 or 3 stacks, you can go ahead and burn phase again. Then you can use this one again. I think this one is very more useful, I think, in Marauder in this way. But let's get into the sub bonuses and see what we have. So first of all, the first change that I'm going to show up is actually in the achievements. So before I'm getting into the guide, I'm gonna show off. So actually there is a new achievement tab came up, which is the Spoils of War one. And in the Spoils of War one, you will see all of the tactical items, you will see the set bonuses and stuff like that. And if you already see, there is the Jedi Knight / Sith Warrior one. I'm showing it off on the Warrior way, but it's gonna work the same way for Jedi Guardian and Jedi Sentinel as well. So first of all, if you see on top, there is like 6 general like gear set bonuses what this game will have. And after that, there will be 2 that will have like each advanced class will have. So the Jedi Knight / Sith Juggernaut will have 2 set bonuses like specifically for that advanced class. One of them is the Flawless Repost and the other one is the Lord of Fame, which I showed both of them on the last guide. But of course there are some general ones that some came up as general and we did not know it. So first of all, I'm gonna again just quickly remind you guys about what are these set bonuses are for. So first of all is the Perfect Form one. So the Perfect Form is where the Marauder come in mind, because in the Perfect Form Arms Guard, I'm just gonna show off again on the previous video that on 2 set bonus you will get 2% mastery, on 4 set bonus you will get the Vicious Slash and Massacre, deal 5% more damage, and on 6 set bonus, the Vicious Slash, Massacre, and Sweeping Slash, and the Vicious Thirst stack to their target, stacking up to 5 times, and killing an enemy with Vicious Thirst stacks increase your damage by 3% per stack for 10 seconds. Now, of course, the Massacre ability does not have it for all of the disciplines. The only discipline currently that has the Massacre is Carnage. So that armor set only works on the Carnage. So if you're checking out where is this Massacre ability on Sith Marauder / Jedi Sentinel, the only way you can get this one is if you are on Carnage discipline, because on other disciplines you don't have this ability. So you don't have it here on Fury and you don't have it here on Annihilation. So this set bonus for Marauders only works if you are playing the Carnage discipline. And of course it's gonna be like an AoE ability still. If you kill it, you will getting Vicious Thirst and you will getting more damage, same that I did on the last time. Next one on the list is the Force Bound armor set. Now this one is also giving you 2 set bonuses. So I showed it up on the previous video. So the first 2 set bonus will give you 2% accuracy, and when you're getting into 4 set bonus, enemies will affected by Intimidating Roar have greater reduced accuracy for 6 seconds after Intimidating Roar wears off. That one is a really good one, as I said before on PvP. I think this ability is really cool, so looking forward to this armor set. Next one is the Undying armor set, which I actually did not show up on the previous one, so this is completely new. As you see, I don't have anything on the Undying armor set, and unfortunately I couldn't buy it because Kaizaiken is closed. But pretty much I looked up for it, and if you're getting 2 set bonuses, you will getting 2% armor, and after 4 set bonuses, if you're executing Mad Dash, you will gain 20% damage reduction for 6 seconds. I think this one is really good for tanks, but this one again is for Marauders, so Marauders don't need any like defensives or stuff like that. It's really good to have damage reduction for 6 seconds, but I don't think Marauders need it that much, to be perfectly honest, because Marauders are all about damage. Next one is the Nimble Armor. The Nimble Armor set bonuses will have 2 set bonuses. If you're getting 2 set bonus, you will getting 2% alacrity. And if you're getting 4 set bonuses, you will getting another set bonus, which is of course the force charge one, and you can go ahead and force charge twice again. I showed it off this one on the previous guide as well, so I didn't really want to worry about it and bother about it. I'm just gonna move on for the next one. Next one is the Tormented Armor set, which I have not showed up on the previous one, but I will show it up here right now. So if you're using the Tormented Armor set, after 2 set bonus, you will getting 2% power, and if you're using the 4 set bonus, after force choke stun effects finish, so if you force choke someone, it slows its target, but not just its target, and every enemy nearby for 6 seconds. That is really useful, to be perfectly honest. Especially I would recommend it for PvP. For PvE is also useful if you need to make a run, and if you just stun the enemy and you need to run because you're running out of heals. So I think that one is very useful. It just stuns the target and you have time to go ahead and heal yourself up and stuff like that. Or if you just need to make a run and if you don't want to bother the NPCs, or in PvP, especially if you need to go behind to get some heals or getting some abilities off for cooldown. This one is really useful. But I would not recommend it for PvE as much. I would recommend this set bonus more for PvP. And the last one is the Descent of the Fearless one, which I showed off. That one is the Rabbit Fuhrer charge one. So at 2, this one have 3 set bonuses. At 2 gear set bonus, you will getting 2% mastery. At 4 set bonus, if you're taking damage, there's a slight chance to building a Rabbit Fuhrer charge, can only occur once every 5 seconds. If you're wearing 6 gear pieces of this, you are getting a set bonus, which is dealing damage, has a 5% chance to build the Rabbit Fuhrer charge. This one, of course, works on Juggernaut as well and Marauder as well. So, of course, on Marauder, since Marauders have the same new ability as the Rabbit Fuhrer, of course, this one will be showing up as well. Now, let's get into the actual Marauder set bonuses. Now, this is where the fun begins. So, first of all, I'm going to showing off, this is the exclusive for Marauders. The first one I'm going to showing off is the Cooling Blade one. Now, the Cooling Blade one is going to give you, first of all, if you're wearing 2 pieces of gear for this, it will give you 2% critical one. If you're wearing 4 pieces of gear for this, it will give you a set bonus where activating dual saber throw grants the Dispatcher challenge, which is a buff for you, and making your next vicious throw critically hit. So with the vicious throw one is the one that you are using when you are the boss is 30% off. So that is the ability that you're using. That one is pretty much at the very beginning, like one of the openers, or like very beginning. It's called Hue on the Juggernaut, but in here it's called Vicious Throw. This effect cannot occur more than once every 30 seconds. So every 30 seconds you can go ahead and use the dual saber throw and stuff like that. Not just that, by the way, but if you're wearing 6 gear or 6 pieces of gear for this, it will give you the first set bonus if you are using saber throw with Rabbit Fuhrer active. It grants you the Dispatcher challenge again, which finishes the cooldown of Force Charge and Vicious Throw, making your next Vicious Throw usable on any target. So it doesn't really matter if the boss is at 100% or whatever. You can go ahead and still use Vicious Throw for any target that you want. Like, no matter if it's 90%, 80% health or something like that. So pretty much if you're using Rabbit Fuhrer at the very beginning and your opener with dual saber throw as your opener after that, you will go ahead, not just that, you will get your force charge cooldown out, so you can go ahead and leap to someone else again, and after that you can go ahead and vicious throw him again, which is really good if you're just using it back and forth. I think this one is very good in terms of PvP especially, because you can go ahead and immobilize the target again. You can go and hit him, stun him a couple of times. That one is, I think it's an alright one. Not the best armor set that I ever saw in my entire life, but I think it's really, really cool in my opinion. I personally like this one in the Marauder. And now just to demonstrate it how it works. So activating Saber Fuhrer, now I have the Dispatcher challenge. Now I go ahead and activated this one, and now this one has 38, and I can use it whenever I want to again, and I have Force Sleep again. And the other set bonus for Marauder is going to be the Dashing Blade Master armor set. Now, this one has also 3 set bonuses. If you're wearing 2 pieces of gear for your set bonus, it will give you 2% alacrity. If you're wearing 4 pieces of set bonus for this, it will give the Mad Dash cooldown is reduced by 10 seconds, so pretty much you can use Mad Dash 10 seconds earlier than normal. And if you're wearing 6 pieces of gear while you're having this set bonus on, it will, if you're activating Mad Dash while you're under Force Camouflage, it makes critically hit and slows every target what it's going to damage pretty much. So this one, I honestly don't know about this, but I am not really recommending this one for Marauders at all. Like this one, Mad Dash is absolutely an okay ability, do not get me wrong, but I think it's just a like it's not really useful for rotation, it's only good for escape again. Like I don't think Marauder is a chasing character. Like this one I can recommend doing it on PvP, but not really recommending to do it on anywhere else, especially not on PvE. Because this one I think it's not very a good set bonus in my opinion. Hopefully it will change in the future, because all you can do here, to be perfectly honest, is just go in there, Force Camouflage yourself, and while you are in Force Camouflage, you can just critically hit some people and some NPCs there, but pretty much that's it. Like, it's just an AoE ability, kinda, but not kinda, especially if you're escaping or something like that, so not really recommending it. So first of all, let's show up the general tactical items for Marauder. So this is not for any discipline itself, this is just general Marauder tacticals. Currently in the PTS right now it has 3, so I'm about to show up all 3 of them. The first one is called Hidden Power, and if you equip it, the Force Camouflage ability generates 2 rage per second. So pretty much if you're just activating Force Camouflage, you are just generating rage, which is just, to be fair, it's alright. The second tactical item, which is called the Grievous Wounds. This one is interesting, which why is it called Grievous Wounds? But this one, if you're using the Crippling Slash ability, it will get trauma and slows the effect lasts twice as long. So pretty much if you're using this Grievous Wound tactical item and using Crippling Slash on it, you can pretty much just slow the target twice as long. So pretty much if you're just slowing it down, you can just double slowing it time twice as long as you used to, pretty much. If you're using that is alright, but yeah, it depends what discipline or how are you using it. I don't recommend this one that much. But the third one, however, this Defel Splice Genes, or Genes, is really, really good. Like, if you're activating Predation, it finishes the cooldown of Force Camouflage. This one, I think it's very useful for PvP again. Like, just imagine if you used Force Camouflage at the very beginning, or if you're very bad, like at heals or something like that, you will just need, or you will have some trouble. Now, you will go ahead activating Force Camouflage. Now, after that, you will have enough to activate Predation, because on Predation, of course, you need 30 stacks of Fury to activate Predation. Now, if you have 30 stacks of Fury, you can go ahead, put some more damage, and after that, activating Predation, and then you can use Force Camouflage again. I think that one is very, very useful ability. I especially recommend this one for PvP massively. This one is very, very OP, I think, for Marauders, especially, as I said, in PvP. So this one is a very, very good tactical one. So first of all, let's get on with the Annihilation tactical items. So for the Annihilation discipline, it currently has 5 tactical items, and I don't know why it has 5 tacticals where the others have 4, but I will show it anyway. The first one is the Thirsty Blade. Now the Thirsty Blade, if you equip it and if you use Ravage, deal by 5% more damage for each bleed stacked on the target, up to 25%. Now this is something that I'm really curious. So let's just say you are in a boss fight, in a flashpoint or something like that. And let's just say the target has bleed damage. Like on any bleed damage I'm talking about. Not just my bleed damage, but any bleed damage. This one, it will go if I use Ravage on my Marauder, this will affect the 25% more damage for Ravage? Or is it only on my bleed target? Because each bleed stacked on the target. That's what I said. It doesn't really say that requires a Marauder stuff or Marauder bleed damage or anything like that. So this one is really good for if you want to use Ravage. But Ravage is not really something that you use often if you're a Marauder. But this one can go ahead and reflect it, and you can go ahead and use Ravage a little bit more if you're using this tactical item. The next one is the Spiteful Saber tactical item. The Spiteful Saber tactical item is affecting you if you are using Vicious Slash, Vicious Throw, and Dual Saber Throw. It will refreshes the duration of the Rupture's bleed effect and ticks its damage. Now, of course, if you're using the Rupture ability, that one is a bleed damage for Marauders. Now, let's just say if you have a boss fight or if you're using an NPC or something like that, and you put the Rupture ability there, so of course it's starting to bleed damage. You have 8 seconds until that Rupture is going down. But if you're using this tactical item, and if you're starting to use Vicious Slash, or Vicious Throw, or Dual Saber Throw, it will refresh it. So let's just say it have 1 or 2 seconds until the Rupture bleed attack is wearing off. Now if you're using Vicious Throw, it will restart that whole thing again, and you will have another 8 seconds until that wears off. And if you're using Vicious Slash in the mix, then you have another 8 seconds until the Rupture bleed damage wears off. This one is interesting in terms of like if you want to use it maybe on PvP. The Rupture effect is really good if someone is on stealth and you cannot go out and attack. That one is very useful for stealthers. But as for PvE as well, that one is very good if you want to use a Rupture as a bleed attack, very useful. But other than that, nah, this is like a medium tactical item. Next tactical item is No Time for Fools tactical item. Now, if you're using this tactical item, Annihilate automatically kills standard and weak enemies with less than 30% health. Killing an enemy this way resets the cooldown of Annihilate. So let's just say you are in an NPC run or something like that, or in the PvP. You will using your Annihilate ability a lot because that one is the best ability that deals a lot of damage. Now, if you kill an enemy, if the enemy is less than 30% health, and if you kill someone with the Annihilate, it will reset the Annihilate ability again. So you can go ahead and hit someone again. And let's just say if that ad or NPC or a PvP player, whatever, is again 30% on health, you can go ahead and just use Annihilate until he's 30% off, and pretty much you can kill him all the time. And you will have Annihilate pretty much all the time. That one is really good in PvE wise. It's really good to clear ads in a way, but also really, I think it's alright for PvP as well. If you're defeating someone with the Annihilate ability at the end, then you can go ahead and use it. But I will say this one is a medium one for me as well. Now this one is gonna be my favorite, I think, in terms of Marauders. Melroar Mask. Now if you're using this tactical item, if you're using the Annihilate, deals damage to an enemy affected by Force Rend, triggers the burst to a damage up to 8 targets around. So the Annihilate ability is gonna be an AoE ability. If you're using, so let's just say you are in the middle of a boss fight, right? You're in the middle of a boss fight and there's some ants spawning around and you need to put the ants below the boss. Let's just say that. Let's just think about that for a second. If you're using Force Rend in the boss, but you're using Annihilate as well, you will damage everybody around. This one, number one, is huge damage. Number two, this one can affect on PvP as well, PvE as well. This one is, I think it's a very OP like just a simple bonus AoE attack. Like, all you need to do is just force strengthening someone using force strength ability and then annihilate. And then you can go ahead and use AoE as much as you can until you have annihilate. It would be nice, to be perfectly honest, to let this annihilate one and this annihilate like 2 tactical items together. Because if that will happen ever, that one is gonna be OP as hell. But this one is very, very good. I think so far this is my favorite in terms of annihilation tactical items. And the final one is the internal strike. And the internal strike, I not really understand it that much, because if you're refreshing rupture, like the bleeding attack, deals double damage on initial hit. So initial hit means like a simple hit or something like that, what I'm guessing. So if you're refreshing the rupture ability every time, you can go ahead and deal double damage. But I tried it, it doesn't seem to work that much. So maybe this tactical item is not working right now. But pretty much if you're refreshing rupture, the ability, or the bleeding damage, you will go ahead and deal double damage on an initial hit. So if you are using one ability like Ravage or Battering Assault or whatever, then you can go ahead and use it again, and you will dealing double damage. I think that one is alright. The next tactical items that I'm going to be showing is the Fury Discipline tactical items. Now the Fury has currently 4, when I'm recording this, 4 tactical items on the public test server. So I'm going to show which one are which and what are they doing. First one, it's called Perseverance. And the Perseverance, if you're using Obliterate with Rabid Fury, causes to critically hit. This one is an alright one, I think. So let's just say if you are going in, and again, you're going into a burst fight, you will go using Obliterate because that one is part of your rotation. So you're using Obliterate, but if you're using it with a Rabid Fury, it doesn't really matter how many stacks you got, by the way. I tested it with 1 stacks, with 4 stacks, doesn't really matter, just have Rabid Fury for yourself. If you have Rabid Fury, you will go hit Obliterate again, and if you deal double damage pretty much, or like critically hit one. So I deal like 6 or 7k with this bad gear that I have currently, but with Rabid Fury I hit about 14-15k, so that's alright. Next one is the Force Barter tactical item, and the Force Barter, if you equip it, Fury Strike refounds 1 additional rage after it hits, but refounds all its rage if you have fallen to 0. So if you don't have any rage, pretty much this one giving you rage back. This one is, I think it's really, really good if you want to be like one of those rage guys who are just get maximum rage and go ahead and DPS. But additionally, I don't think people will go into this. Maybe on PvP this one is really good if you desperately need rage and want to burst it out. Maybe on PvE as well, actually. Yeah, maybe on both. So I think this one is not like a medium or high. It's between the two. I think that I found this one very useful. But also if you are like... The thing is, like, rage is really, really easy to get. Maybe at the very beginning it does not. But at the very beginning it's very easy to get rage up, so we'll see how this one will go. Next one is the Enrage Crush. Now this is very similar to the one that you have on Annihilation, which is the Annihilate ability. So pretty much if you are using Raging Burst or Smash, it will detonate the Force Crush. So pretty much all you need to do at the very beginning is using Force Crush, and after that if you're using Raging Burst or Smash, detonate the Force Crush, which will pretty much stacking up to 8 enemies, and you can go ahead and AoE again. Of course, the Force Crush ability, if you guys don't know, or the Force Crush ability, in case if you guys not using it, it's just progressively slows the target to 50%, to 5% movement speed for 3 seconds, and dealing kinetic damage. And it will take like 10 or 8 seconds to go, but the faster you go ahead and detonate Force Crush, the more damage you're gonna deal. So all you need to do at the very beginning, Force Crush, and after that Raging Burst or Smash to go ahead and do a lot of AoE damage. That is just bonus AoE damage, to be fair. So like in bonus rotation, in AoE rotation, I can imagine if you're using this tactical item, you can go ahead and use and Force Crush, and after that Enrage Run or Raging Burst, sorry, and after that Smash, to go ahead and put a lot of AoEs down in the drain, and you can go ahead and smash a lot of ads or a lot of players around it in PvP as well if you want. So I found this one very, very useful as well. And the last tactical item for Fury is the Cauterized Connery. If you're using this one, if you equip it, Furious Strike causes its target to bleed. So pretty much if you're using Furious Strike, it will not just gonna be a simple damage, it will also going to be started bleeding the target. Now this is where it gets interesting. So imagine if you're using this tactical item on one Marauder. What if you're using, let's just say a first Marauder is, so this one right now is Fury, but the other one is Annihilation. So what about if you're using this one, and after that you will using this tactical item for Annihilation? I don't know if that one will deal more damage or not, but I would like to see that when it comes to the light servers or something like that, if that one will be good or not. And the final tactical items that I'm about to showing up is, of course, the Carnage ones. Now, the Carnage as well have 4 technically right now on the PTS when I'm testing it. So let's get on with it. What are the 4 tactical items? The first one is the Tome of Smashaker, which has a really good name to be perfectly honest. And Smash causes your next Massacre to do damage up to 8 enemies near the primary target. So again, this one is an AoE ability. So pretty much all you need to do if you having your Smash, or like pretty much Smash causes your next Massacre. So if you're using Smash, you will have Massacre again to do damage again to near the primary target. So let's just say you do Smash on one target, on a boss again, and then you were doing Massacre to the target, then you will go ahead and AoE all around the boss or in PvP as well. I don't know what is up with these AoEs and stuff like that, but this one is very, very interesting to say the least for tactical item in terms of Marauder for sure. I honestly like these AoE ones, to be perfectly honest. Let's get on for the next one. The next one is the Prosection. The Prosection, if you use it, Devastating Blast is now affected by Rabid Fury. Now I'm not sure what does this mean, like if you have more Rabid Fury, the better damage you can do with Devastating Blast. I tested it out, but of course I gave initial crits and stuff like that. But if you just have one Rabid Fury, you can still do 1 damage, I'm guessing. If you have 4 stacks of Rabid Fury, I'm guessing you can go ahead and deal a lot of damage. Because of course on Devastating Blast, if you're seeing it, the blast stuns standard and weaks the enemies for 5 seconds. Now, of course that one is powerful, but if you're using, of course it's replacing Force Scream here. But if you're replacing this one, Devastating Blast, and using this tactical item with it, and if you use it, you need to use Rabid Fury constantly with that. So this one is very good if you're using the Rabid Fury armor set with it, I believe. But other than that, I wouldn't use it that much in my opinion, but so far this is alright. Next one is the Addendus Malevolence. Now this one, if you activate it, Velocity is always active, but it only gives 50% of armor penetration. Now this one is interesting, because if you just activate this one, you actually don't need to worry about your Velocity ability anymore, because it's gonna be like a passive ability. But if you're using it, of course it's lasting up for 10 seconds, and if you're using Devastating Blast, Gore, Vicious Throw, Ravage, Massacre, as he's saying, it will gain 100% armor penetration. 100% armor penetration. However, only if you're using this ability and if we're standing up for 10 seconds. However, if you don't need to use this anymore, because if you're using this tactical, Velocity will be always active. So it's going to be like a passive ability for you that you can just ignore. So this one is interesting. If you rather give up your the other 50% of armor penetration, but using it all the time, that one is interesting. It depends on boss fight or something like that, or on PvP. I think I would like this one, to be perfectly honest, but you need to give up some sacrifices for Velocity if you're using it that much. And the final one is the Fanged God form. Interesting name, to be honest. And if you're using it, using Massacre adds hyper stacks up to increasing your critical hit by 10%. And reducing the cost of your next Massacre by 1 rage per stack. Stack up 3 times, last 10 seconds until an ability on another rage is used. So of course it will stack up to 3 times. All you need to do, this is just like the old school Massacre ability. When, do you guys remember back in the day, there was like something else happened with the, not in the PTS, but pretty much in game, where everybody just used Massacre all the time if you used Carnage. Now this one is pretty much the same. It will adding you up hyper stacks. You can go and actually increase your critical chance by 10% by reducing the cost of next massacre if you're just stacking up. So pretty much you can go ahead and get 30% of critical or 20%, something like that, if it works. So it will give you 30% of critical chance pretty much for every other ability. And all you need to do is just use Massacre sometimes, like once until you're having that one. This one is, I think, for Carnage, I think this one is the best tactical item so far, in my opinion. So that was it for Marauder. So we are done with Sith Warrior. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys want to see next. It's gonna be really hard to do it before Onslaught, but I'm gonna try to do it as much as possible because this one is just going back and forth and checking out everything, and the PTS is constantly up and down, but I will try my best. Let me know down in the comment section below which class do you guys want to see next. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!